Hello, and thank you for joining us on the Stay Healthy Knoxville podcast, brought to you by Simply Physio, aimed at helping you live an enjoyable, fit, and healthy life in and around our community of Knoxville, Tennessee. And now, here is your host, Dr. John Mark Chesney.
So I'm super excited today to have Ingrid Duncan here on our episode of Stay Healthy Knoxville. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Well, Ingrid is owner of Campbell Station Jazzercise. And so we want to talk about Jazzercise. We want to talk about exercise. Going to have a segment on the show, the second half, where we're talking about myths, certain complaints or barriers that people have that prevent them from maybe getting into exercise. So we have a lot of fun things here on the show we're going to talk about. But before we get into that, Ingrid, I'd love to kind of hear the story behind the story, how you got to where you are today as far as owner of Jazzercise Knoxville, where it kind of all began, your interest in exercise and movement and helping people with exercise.
Sure. I grew up dancing, and so I learned from an early age that, movement to music was fun, and I enjoyed it, and I just loved it. So that is was sort of a catalyst. I started teaching in college aerobics classes because it was an easy hobby. I was good at it. I could get paid for it. And, those starving college students, we need any job we could get. So that's kind of how I started. Started at one of the YMCAs in San Diego.
Okay.
And that's kind of where I learned that I really loved teaching people and engaging with them that way and sharing the fun of fitness and laughing and working out. So that is sort of what prompted me to continue doing that regardless of where I was at. It was kind of that hobby that wouldn't go away, so to speak. So I majored in psychology.
Okay.
Years ago. It didn't really matter back then. You just needed a degree, and I was really interested in people and how they thought. And I loved how the exercise and psychology kind of joined together.
Yeah, definitely.
Both, the mind, body, what people think, how it affects how they feel. So yeah, it was kind of an easy mix, and I really enjoyed that. So I think it kind of helped me teach as well, and hopefully it still helps me teach and think about people and how they're thinking and feeling. But yeah, so it really was just sort of a hobby that I continued into my adult life, married, kids, and so I taught at gyms or, the Y. My husband was a Navy officer, so we traveled a lot. So it was just sort of always on the side there. Took breaks when I was pregnant and had kids, just kind of focused on me a little bit, but it really gave me an opportunity to be involved with all kinds of ages and, just keep dabbling in what I loved. And when we moved to Virginia, I'd never done jazzercise. That's one thing I did not do. I did the whole, Taibo step classes, taught all that kind of stuff, and met some really amazing women at a park one day, and we all had young kids, of course, and they're like, hey, come to Jazzercise. And I was like, really?
When was this? Around what time frame?
This was back in, 2000. Let me think. We moved to Virginia in 2003, probably 2004.
Okay.
4 or 5, somewhere around there. And yeah, so I went and I was immediately hooked because I was like, whoa, this has all the dance, has the cardio, the strength, everything. And I just loved it, loved the people, loved the atmosphere. And so, was hooked, and very shortly after started pursuing being certified and teaching.
In Jazzercise.
And so, yeah, so that's how I started in Jazzercise. I just, I knew it was kind of out there, but it was not in my town or whatever. So I'd never tried it until then. I was like, where have you been all my life? This is fun. So, started teaching then and taught as an associate for different instructors over the years. And after teaching for about 5 years, I had an opportunity to work for corporate training and development as an assessment coordinator. And I took that on and love it. That allows me to work with instructors globally from all over. and I get to do some one-on-one coaching and training. I assess their skills and then offer feedback and further training. So that's really fun too, because I do like that one-on-one training and connection.
So with the instructors, you're helping. Do you? Yeah, that's really interesting with your background too, just in psychology and then jazzercise, but then also training other instructors. Are there certain traits that you find that make us successful, or just an instructor that really does well in that type of setting?
In a group setting like that?
Yeah, I'm just interested in your experience, like certain things that you can pick up on pretty quick and say, you're going to be good at this.
Definitely personality, having an outgoing personality helps. You got to enjoy what you do and have fun. And I think that comes across. If you're not having fun up there, nobody else is going to have fun. So, definitely being bold enough to step up there and do it, and then just to have fun. Move well, obviously, because you want to be able to be that visual cue for people to follow safely and do things correctly so they don't get hurt. But just if you like to move well and dance and you like music and you like people, it's really fun. It's a great job.
So then you mentioned you were in Virginia. So what brought you here to Knoxville?
My husband actually retired from the Navy.
Okay.
And we were in the process of trying to decide where we were going to go. And he just kept getting all these job offers from Knoxville. And we'd always lived coastal. We'd never lived inward. I was like, I don't know. I don't know. We've never been away from a beach. And so let's come check it out.
You got the cove. Does that count?
Well, you've got a lot of water here. So that helped a lot. And it's beautiful. So we took a trip out here and said, let's check it out. And, our kids were still fairly young, and everyone here was so darn nice. Everyone we met, that was kind of what's really stood out. It's like, man, okay. And then we looked around and I saw people outdoor being active, and you listen to the news, they were talking about hiking, and it's like, okay, I think I could do this. I didn't want to be, kind of the California girl that didn't fit in, just because I'd never been here. And it was just beautiful, like I said, and the people were so welcoming. We thought, this would be a really amazing place to raise a family. So we chose it.
And then you've been here, how long have you been here?
We've been here almost 9 years now. Okay. Actually, we have been here 9 years. We're in our 10th year.
Okay, awesome.
It's gone fast.
Well, as we talk about, jazzercise, I have a question I got to ask is, do you guys ever have throwback jazzercise night from the 80s?
We do not. No. We're proud of where we came from. We are the original dance fitness company, and we own that. And we were the catalyst for many groups. And so we're proud of that, but that is just not who we are today. They're funny to watch, I think. It's like, okay, but it is so not who we are today. It's comical now to me to watch it, because, we've been here. We're celebrating our 50-year anniversary this year. We're the first and only program that can say that. And it's because we've continued to grow and evolve and stay current with all the music, the moves, everything. So no leg warmers, no headbands. You don't have to
wear spandex to come.
Well, we wear spandex, but today's modern.
Singlets and the 80s hairstyle. I think, and the reason I ask, and is kind of, jokingly, but I'm sure some of our listeners too, and you probably get it just in public, like just jazzercise, is very, I guess, grew its strong identity probably in the 80s.
In the 80s,
right? And so people have certain preconceived ideas, and I'm really intrigued at, I go and look at your guys' website, and you guys have a very busy schedule. I mean, you have classes.
We do.
Multiple classes every day of the
of
the week. Multiple. How many instructors do you guys have?
There are 14 of us.
14 instructors. And knowing just that exercise, there's a lot of fads with exercise, right?
Yes.
That come and go. And jazzercise, here, especially, I don't know how it is, globally, but, from what I can see with your studio, that it's thriving, and just wondering, like you kind of already answered a little bit, but to go from like the maybe obstacles of having this kind of public opinion or preconceived understanding of jazzercise 80s,
right?
And yet you've been able to overcome that. And if you could speak a little bit more of like how you see you guys have survived like outside of the 80s,
right.
The 90s, the 2000s, and to today.
Sure. Because when people come in and they take class, that's when they go, oh, this is nothing that I thought it was going to be, or this was way harder than I thought it was going to be. Misconceptions sometimes keep people away. And so I just come take class, come see what it's about. Once they see that they get all the cardio, the strength, the stretch, they have a great community. I'm really proud of the fact that my facility is welcoming, and I have the best, amazing customers and people, and it's just a great, positive, really welcoming environment. And so I think sometimes people are timid to start something new. They're afraid they're not going to know where to go or who to talk to or what. And we just say, come on in. And I love it. I can stand up there as I'm getting ready for class and watch some of my current customers welcome someone who just walked in the door and, hey, come over here. And they're just, it's just a really supportive, great environment, and it's fun. And it's great to be able to show people, hey, fitness can be fun. You can work really hard and have a blast at the same time. So in dispelling those myths, it's more about coming in. You got to come in and check it out and take some classes and see the variety that we offer. And then you'll go, this is not what I've been seeing of the 80s jazzercise.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just growth and change. That's why we're still here.
That's great. I guess with any industry, any company, if you're not growing, they're catching you.
Yeah. And I'm fortunate. It's a great company that continually every year strives to do better and better. They're amazing.
Yeah. I mean, it must, speak to that, just, seeing that, like I said, like you said, it's been around 50 years, and you said the only exercise, I forgot how you termed it.
The very first program ever to be able to say that.
To survive, 50 years and still going strong.
Yeah.
And I hear you use the word off, just as we're describing, is fun.
Yes.
If you would speak to like where, like how come that's such a common word that you're using to describe it, but why that's like so important in the environment that you create, like why that's a very common word that I'm hearing you describe.
Oh, that's an easy one. If you don't have fun and don't enjoy what you're doing, the odds of you continuing to do it just fall. Everyone, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this, and they can last for about maybe 2 months, really forcing themselves to go because they're forcing themselves. If they're not having fun and enjoying it, it just becomes too difficult. That's why I feel whatever it is, whether it's jazzercise or whatever it is you love, if you enjoy it, you're so more apt to consistently do it and just get all the benefits from it. So regardless, that's my ultimate goal, is I want people to be healthy and happy. So you got to find what you love, and you just got to put it on your calendar and say, I'm worth this time, and do it. But yeah, so it's got to be fun. In my opinion, it's got to be fun, or I'm not doing it.
Well, what makes, for somebody who's never been to jazzercise and maybe is interested, a listener, what makes jazzercise fun?
Well, if you like moving to music, it's fun. If you like to dance, and it's not hard, anybody can do it. We stick to fairly, simple moves so that it is available for everybody to do. A little bit of a learning curve, but how can you not have fun dancing? How can you not listen to the beat and want to move to it and not even think about how hard you might be working? And even our strength training is all choreographed to music. So you can almost lose yourself in the song, after I'm cueing you and telling you how to do it correctly and where you should be feeling it, and maybe cracking a joke here and there, then to distract you about how hard you're working. It goes by like that. because it's fun. And so you're like, dang, that was great. I'm coming back tomorrow.
In preparation for the show, I was just doing a little bit of research and went on the Jazzercise, just the main websites. It showed a video of the dance routine, and it looked fun.
It is.
It really did.
It is.
But I thought how they described it is it's the original dance party workout, a blending dance with Pilates, yoga, kickboxing, and strength training, and a 55-minute session, long lean muscles, and an undeniable mood boost.
Absolutely.
That sounds like a lot of good things in there.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of good things. And that's what's fun about it, too, for me as someone who grew up dancing, too. I like variety. So I like that I can do something that's kind of, hip-hop. I can do Latin. I can do a great lyrical stretch at the end of the, program. And so I don't get bored because I'm not doing one style only. We get to mix it up. We've got lots of variety. We get new routines every 2.5, 3 months, about 30 plus new routines to learn. So there's always something new and fresh and fun. So we're always learning, which means we're also using our brain, which is good as well. And keeps us young.
Sure. And I follow you guys on Instagram, and what I see on there is you guys celebrate a lot.
Absolutely.
And I see whether it be little competitions of a certain, like if you get to so many workout numbers or type things, and giveaways or T-shirts, that of accomplishments that people have hit a certain mark. I see that as all developing just the community that you guys have of a community that supports each other. And celebrates with each other too.
Yeah, it's a great way to allow yourself to set goals and then work towards them. And we think you should be rewarded when you attain a goal because you invested the time and energy in yourself. And so we love to celebrate whatever it is. We have our big Club 150. If you attend 150 classes in the year, you get your shirt.
Okay.
And they wear them proudly because they worked really hard for them.
Sure.
But we have different incentives throughout the year. It's just to keep it fun and interesting, to keep giving you a goal. Getting ready to start one in February.
Okay.
It is our big February challenge, and it is a challenge. It's not easy to do, but we have some that go gangbusters at it. So they'll have to 25 classes in 28 days.
Okay.
So it's a boost. It's fun. It gets rid of the winter doldrums when it's cold outside. Hey, dance floor's hot. Come on in and have fun, and let's work towards a new goal. So we love to celebrate. We celebrate anything we can, and that does, again, I think that goes to making our community and our facility just a fun, really welcoming place. Gives you a little tribe to hang out with and celebrate your accomplishments.
Yeah, and most people really need a community to support them,
Right.
because Monday morning or whenever it is, and you're tired, and you have the option of sleeping in a little bit longer or getting up and going to dance, that Jazzercise, or to go run or whatever it is. I just find, I know for myself, but for a lot of my clients too, if you're on island doing it by yourself, you can have success, but it's so much more difficult.
It's so much. In fact, when I'm teaching sometimes and I'm tired, I'm working hard, just as hard as my customers. And I'll crack a joke like, if I was home by myself, I would have quit. Nobody wants to do it alone. It's a lot more fun if you wake up and say, hey, I can go hang out and dance with, 5 of my closest friends. And many of our customers actually have become just best friends. So great community.
Yeah,
it's important.
Definitely. And goal setting too, I think, is so important too, because that can just be that extra layer of motivation of, like, when you have something you're shooting for, whether it be, some people, maybe it could be, losing weight, or, hitting a certain number of classes, or, for me, I try to have some sort of event, like a race or something. Like, if I don't have something on the calendar, then, like, the ambition, the motivation for actually, like, getting up and pushing myself isn't just there when I'm not doing it with another kind of purpose besides, just being healthy.
Right. And setting those small goals then help you attain the bigger goal. But it's a lot easier, to bite off a little piece and to taste that success instead of go, oh my gosh, I have this mountain to climb. If you do those little goals along the way, before you know it, you're at the top of the mountain. So,
well, if one of our listeners is just interested in experiencing a Jazzercise class, but was maybe just hesitant, reserved, not quite sure what to expect, what would you kind of tell them as far as what to expect on their first time coming into your studio?
On their first time coming in, I would say just expect to be welcomed. Don't be afraid to be a beginner, right? We're all a beginner sometime, and it's okay. Expect there to be a little bit of a learning curve, unless it's something you're used to doing. There's always a little bit of a learning curve, but we are all ages, all shapes and sizes. You will not feel out of place. So kind of put your mind at ease that way. Come in and try it. You can adapt it. If, say, you haven't been working out at all, it's okay. Come in, you can do it lightly. We're going to show you how you can do it high intense, how you can do it low impact, whatever it is you need for where you're at, and then show you how to develop that. So there's no reason to be scared. Just come in and expect to have a good time.
Great. Well, we're going to transition to our break, and after our break, we're going to be talking about the myths. We're going to bust some myths.
All right.
on exercise. So stay with us for the second half of the show.
Stay Healthy Knoxville is sponsored by Simply Physio, a physio clinic that equips and empowers you to live your life to the fullest so that you can enjoy the things you love to do and be the person you are made to be. Simply Physio specializes in helping people get back to a healthy and active lifestyle, living free from pain and medication and avoiding unnecessary surgery. Stay tuned until the end of the episode to receive a special gift from Simply Physio and enjoy listening to the rest of the episode.
All right, so we're back, and we're going to be busting some myths, like we said, on exercise. And
Yay.
Ingrid and I, we talked about just how there can be barriers or things that can slow people down or even prevent people from getting into exercise. Fear. This segment really came out of, there was an article in Reader's Digest back in the fall that was labeled the 14 or some number, 12, 14 exercises that somebody over 50 should never do.
Right.
And we were talking about this article, how it just very much was written in such a negative tone, and one that just promoted a lot of fear and worry and anxiety about that could prevent somebody from getting into an exercise, and where most people are really safe and they should be, and they're, the detrimental effects of them not exercising are so much greater than, the harm of one of these exercises that was in Reader's Digest. But the article got a lot of press, like negative press, that a lot of people in the health and wellness field were just taken aback. They had written it in such a harmful language that Reader's Digest, they took the article down and they revamped the article. Instead, they said, the 12 exercises that you should modify. So which is much better language. And so we wanted to talk about some myths that we hear, some objections that could prevent people from getting into just experiencing the healthy benefits of exercise.
Right.
So first one that we wanted to talk about was the myth that squats are going to wreck my knees.
Right.
So tell us, your thoughts on if you heard, when you hear that from a client or a customer,
that's
concerned about squats.
Yeah. If you think about it, we do squats every day in our daily life. It's, a squat is kind of a form of functional fitness, right? As a physical therapist, you want your clients to be able to do their daily work, right? So a squat's the same thing as if you were sitting down and standing up. You're still using those same lower body muscles. So, that's where I just say good form is important. As long as you use proper alignment and good form, you're going to be okay. You're not going to wreck your knees. Now, if you're not using good form, then yeah, you might have an issue. But that's where, your physical therapist, where your fitness instructor is key to showing you how to do it correctly. Definitely. So yeah, I think that's a big myth.
Yeah, I would say myth definitely on that one, busting that myth. So yeah, like you said, when I have a client who we need to build strength, oftentimes they have a trouble with the form, like you said, of a squat. So what I take them down to is like, let's do some sit to stands, and that is, like you said, it is a squat, and so. And it's functional too. People, as they're aging, oftentimes people start having trouble getting up from a low surface. And so it's if you keep working on your squat, you're not going to have that problem.
Exactly. And yeah, so you can start off small, and then as you get stronger, you can build strength by going deep or whatever. But good form is paramount, and you'll be good.
Definitely. All right, so myth number 2, will strength training make me bulky or big?
This is one of my favorites. I think women are more worried about that. I haven't heard too many men be worried about being bulky. So yeah, like the short answer is no, really. I think they confuse strength training and bodybuilding.
Sure.
And bodybuilding is kind of more of a sport of extreme nature. Strength training really is just strengthening those muscles. You're going to get more, tone, definition, but you're not going to get bulky. Women just aren't naturally driven that way to begin with. So yeah, don't let that scare you. You're not going to get bulky, but you need strength training because, especially women, as we get older, we lose muscle, we lose bone density. So strength training really slows down that process, if not stopping it, to help you maintain what you have and build muscle. So you're not going to get bulky.
Definitely not. I guess the type of strengthening you guys do in Jazzercise, it's really meant to. Yeah,
we're not Barb lifting 100 pounds to music. We're using handheld weights or body weight. Depending on what it is. But no, it's not designed to
no Olympic lifting.
No, not going to make you huge and bulky, but it is going to make you strong and lean.
Right. So great. Well, that kind of gets us into the next question about lifting weights. Is lifting weights bad for your joints, Ingrid?
I don't think so. No, because in just my experience, and you can probably talk about this too as a physical therapist, but in some cases, unless there's really an issue going on and your doctor says don't do this for a while, actually movement is good. It creates more mobility with that joint, and instead of getting stiff from non-movement. The movement is good. And the strength training and strengthening that supporting tissue and muscle all around that joint is important to support it.
Right.
I don't know. As a physical therapist, what do you say?
Yeah, well, I would tell people kind of think about the opposite. Like if you were in outer space or an astronaut, the concern is that they can't stay in outer space forever, right? Because they get weak. Their bones literally lose bone density. And so they have to contrive certain ways that they can get some exercise in outer space to load their joints, to load the skeleton, to load the muscles, to allow them to not have the detrimental effects of living in in outer space where there's no gravity. So on the flip side, same thing here on Earth. Using weights to add some extra load to your joints can be very beneficial for, like you said, building strength of the muscles, but also the joints themselves as far as strengthening your bone density. There's weight training has been shown to help with somebody who has a concern for osteoporosis. That it can be very beneficial for helping to strengthen the bones.
Yeah, so we agree.
Definitely. All right, so next question is HIIT. So HIIT is high intensity interval training.
Everyone loves HIIT today.
Right. That's you kind of hear that a lot. Is it dangerous, Ingrid?
I will say no for someone who is starting and has already been conditioned a little bit in exercise. I wouldn't recommend HIIT personally to someone who hasn't been doing anything to jump right into it. Because it is, you have those big bursts and it is intense. That's what it stands for, high intensity interval training. So I say come in, develop a little bit of strength and conditioning before you try the HIIT, just to feel safe and comfortable with it. But no, there's so many great benefits. And I think that's why it is so popular, because we've learned a lot about it. Increased metabolism, everybody wants the higher burn, right? So you have that longer lasting effect after classes.
Do you guys incorporate principles? HIIT? Okay.
Yeah, we have a variety of formats, different styles of classes you can take. And we do have HIIT classes, some interval training. We might do probably interval fusion is one of my favorite, because you have some strength training and then you do a really heavy, hardcore cardio burst. Then you'll do a little more strength training and then another cardio burst. So we do offer HIIT training because it's very effective.
Yeah, it's for the person that has the excuse of I don't have time, right? So this is another myth, an excuse of I don't have time to exercise. So we can kind of come back with, well, have you heard of HIIT?
Right.
Because by nature of HIIT training, it's shorts, right?
Yeah.
And you can get the benefits of exercise. And really studies even a greater benefit in exercise in a very short amount of time when you push yourself to a higher intensity.
Right. When you overload a higher intensity like that, I believe there's a faster cardiovascular growth with HIIT training instead of, the slower climb, which, mix it up, do them all. But I also want to say HIIT training, it isn't something you need to do every single day. You do need to have some recovery period. And so I always say, listen to your body too. It'll tell you if, I need a rest day because I worked super hard yesterday. Listen to it and respect that. Give it a day of rest, and then you'll be ready to go at it again.
Right. Well, yeah. So there's so many benefits to HIIT, and if you're not sure about it, would recommend to follow up with a professional. Come see
Start
Ingrid, and to help you out with it, because it can be a little bit of intimidating when you don't know what you're doing if you're trying to push yourself hard. So do it with a trainer in a class, and to get your confidence up with it.
Exactly.
All right. So the next one is what you call the can't syndrome. So tell us about the can't syndrome.
Well, it's not really a myth, but I hear that a lot sometimes, is I can't do this. I can't dance, or I can't really get stronger. I'm just kind of made this way. And I say you can. And it doesn't matter where you're at or what age you're at. Everybody can grow. It just takes practice and a little focus. But yes, you can. You can dance. Let me show you how. Start basic, start small, and as you feel accomplished, add in more, then make it bigger. So yes, you can, and you can get stronger. Use those weights consistently, and as you get stronger, move up into the weight. Guess what? You're getting stronger. So the can't syndrome, I think, is just that verbiage that we have in our head, and we kind of convince ourselves that we can't. And I want people to change that mindset, change what you're telling yourself, make it a positive instead of I can't. Yes, I can. And if I maybe can't do this at the moment, what can I do? Focus on what you can do and work towards, and pretty soon what you couldn't do, you now can.
Yeah, I'm intrigued even with your background in psychology, just the psychology of sports or exercise, or like you said, that's a huge piece of the I can't syndrome.
The mental part.
It's changing some of these belief patterns, and I see it all the time. Somebody's been labeled, like as far as from an image, as an X-ray or something like that, and they start believing, this image about themselves, like, they have degenerative disc disease, or they have a herniated disc, and when they label themselves, how they view themselves changes their behavior, and how they behave starts to reinforce like the label, and so it's this downward spiral. But it all starts, like you said, just their belief system. And when you can replace that with somebody to really empower somebody to see the human body as this amazing design that's capable, that's resilient, that can that can recover, from injury, that can get strong, that can be pushed and needs to be pushed. And when it does, it responds. It's amazing to watch people. I'm sure you get to see that so often.
It is. And that's one of my favorite parts of the job, is seeing people grow and that smile when they accomplish them. And it kind of goes back to setting those goals, setting those small goals towards that I can. That's what's rewarding. They feel it and they can say, I did, I did it. And they maybe weren't sure they could when they started. So definitely change I can't into I can.
Definitely. Well, we got a few others here. We got a little bit of time left. And there's one that I hear a lot as far as walking, like is walking enough for exercise? And yeah, in my experience, it could be, right? If somebody was at a very low level of cardiovascular health, if walking really pushed them to a certain level, that they could get, benefits of exercise with walking. Walking is better than sitting on the couch.
Absolutely.
But for most people, just walking isn't going to be enough to let them experience the full benefits of exercise.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. I think walking's a great exercise, especially if you're just getting into exercise or you've had a serious injury or a health issue. But walking alone just kind of falls short, in my opinion. I think you do need strength training. So whether you're walking and you can, take some time to stop and do some sort of, strength training moves to add into it. But walking by itself, it's a great stress reliever. It's great for your mind. It is good cardiovascularly, but for growth and more health benefits, I think you need to do more than just walk.
Right. And I have a lot of my clients that maybe have not done any type of exercise program. It can be a good starting point.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because people need a win.
Yes.
And they need to feel that they're capable and set them up for success. And so with a lot of my clients, I'll have them start on a walking program. But that's a stepping stone, right, to the next level.
It goes right to what we just been talking about, one goal and then another, and I can walk this far, and then guess what? I can take this class. And so, yeah, it is a stepping point. It's a great one. And once you feel comfortable with it, keep challenging yourself and add a little bit more so that you get the benefits.
Great. Well, one question, Ingrid, this is just wondering, do you ever have customers that have arthritis that participate in Jazzercise?
Yeah. I think arthritis, it just comes to all of us eventually a little bit in age with lots of activity. Some people have it, worse off than others.
Sure.
But I think it goes back to sort of that joint mobility. You got to keep moving.
Motion is lotion.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah, motion is lotion. You just get, I think, even more stiff and more restricted unless you keep those joints and those, that movement going on in your life. So do what you can. And surprisingly, I believe there's been studies that have shown that exercise actually brings pain relief.
Definitely. To
some arthritis patients. So don't let that hold you back. Keep moving and keep going so that it doesn't get worse.
Yeah, it can be part of a management strategy and a plan that's a little bit more comprehensive than just some sort of pharmaceutical plan.
Right.
I know of one study they were looking at arthritis in the knees with runners, and what they found is with older adults that just on average, there's about a 10 to 11% of evidence of arthritis in older adults. But for recreational runners, they actually find a 3 to 5% level of arthritis. So, a lot of people, a lot of times I hear that, oh, I can't, do some sort of impact that is, because I'm afraid and that I may, start arthritis or wear out my joints. And that's actually been shown to be the opposite, that it actually helps to preserve your joints. There is a level of over-exercise, though. In the same study, what they found was competitive or elite runners did have a slightly higher, they had a 13.5% of evidence of knee arthritis, but they consider that more a reflection of injuries, that the more elite athlete has had more injuries, and injuries are associated with higher levels of arthritis.
So would you say that kind of relates to overuse?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Over conditioning.
Mm-hmm. And that's, if you have opportunity to have a varied, program using multiple joints, multiple different ways just to spread it out.
Yeah. Good.
And the last one, when, I was growing up, you'd always hear, before you start an exercise program, talk to your doctor, make sure you talk with your doctor before you start an exercise program. One thing, Ingrid and I wanted to share is that they actually, that came from the American Academy of Sports Medicine, and that was their stance for a long time until a few years ago. They actually realized that having that stance was a barrier for people to commence exercise, and the risk of not exercising was far greater than the risk of exercising. So they removed the clause of seeing a doctor unless somebody has a history of cardiovascular, metabolic, or renal disease. So,
the average person,
right.
It's fine to start something. Yeah, it's really only concerning if you do have a previous or you're dealing with a health issue, then by all means, talk to your doctor and feel good about it. And, they may be able to tell you exactly what would be best for you or what to kind of take slow. But for the general population, you don't need to have that. Listen to your gut too. If you feel good, go for it and listen to you. If something feels off, then go see your doctor and talk to them, definitely.
But I know we were talking previously, you had some history in the cardiac rehab, right?
Yeah, I taught a group, cardiac rehab patients.
So, here you have a population who's had a cardiac event, and one of the earliest things that they do is, we got to get you exercising, right?
I'm scared.
In a controlled environment, right? Because they're at a risk, but still, movement is medicine is another one, that I use, especially in, a category like, somebody who's had some sort of cardiac procedure that exercise is prescribed for them to recover.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that population did have an incident and was prescribed by their doctors to get moving. To take it slow. But there's a fear aspect that, colors that a little bit. And again, it gets to the start slow, to start small, see what you can do and build on that. And then pretty soon they're not as scared and they kind of come back a little bit, feeling stronger and feeling better about things.
Well, great. Well, that ends our segment on busting myths.
Right.
So the last thing here to finish out the episode, I like to finish with a few questions that I ask my guests. So Ingrid, it's all about Knoxville.
Okay.
And so we'd love to know, what's your favorite place or event, thing that you haven't done, kind of on your bucket list around Knoxville, East Tennessee? What's on your list for you?
Okay. I have two that I can't believe we've lived here this long. We've still never been to a Smokies game. I'm sorry to say. I know. I think because it's just a little further.
Which I heard they may be moving down.
I know.
I saw that in the paper.
So that's kind of, we like to do, my family likes to do all kinds of things. We like to mix it up. We like variety. So I'm like, gosh, I can't believe we haven't done that yet. And then I really want to go ziplining. And it's probably Sevierville. I don't know if you consider that Knoxville. Whatever.
We can count that.
Yeah, I haven't done that yet here, and I really want to. So anything like that, ropes course. The last time I had an opportunity for ropes course, I was recovering from an injury, and I couldn't do it. I didn't have the arm strength during therapy. So I was like, darn it. So I kind of still want to do that. That's on my bucket list.
All right. We'll hold you to it. All right. And then what's one of your favorite places, things to enjoy around Knoxville?
The lake. The lake. I don't have the beach here, and that's okay. But yeah, just getting out on the boat and being in the water, the sunshine. Yeah, love it. That's probably one of our favorite.
Maybe not this time of the year.
No, a little chilly right now. But yeah, as far as summer, and even in the fall and early spring, just tooling around and looking up the scenery and getting out is nice too. So yeah.
All right, and then what's your favorite restaurant?
That one's
Local
super
restaurant.
hard. I really don't have a favorite because, again, we mix it up and it depends on our mood and kind of what we want. If we want to, Mexican, El Mezcal is really good for just inexpensive, great Mexican food. Carne asada tacos are awesome. But yeah, seafood, bang bang shrimp, right? Who doesn't like that? Or if we want to be super spoiled and treated, then Fleming's is kind of our anniversary special night, just to pamper ourselves. So that it's not really one favorite.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. And then to wrap things up with what would be your tip for somebody to stay healthy?
Well, we kind of talked about it a little bit, but I say find what you love to do and what you enjoy, and then do it. Put it on your calendar. Make that appointment with yourself. You're worth that hour, whatever it is a day. You do have time for yourself to take care of yourself, but do it. Find something. Don't just be sedentary. There's so many great things you could do. If you don't like to dance, that's cool. Go find something else that you do like, and just do it. And put it on your calendar. It is key because we tend to throw it out. It's the last thing. Oh, I don't have time for that. And you do, and it's important. So that's my tip, to take care of yourself so that you can take care of other people as well. So do it.
Yes. Well, Ingrid, if somebody was interested in finding more about Jazzercise, what's the best way for them to contact you or contact your studio?
Yeah. You can contact us at csjazzercise@gmail.com if you want to email us. We are online. You can find our website online as well, jazzercise.com. You can put in Campbell Station, Knoxville, and it'll pull us right up. It'll show our schedule. We're located on Campbell Station Road, right around behind the wine and spirit store. They're great. So close by, but here in Farragut.
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks so much.
Thank you for having me.
Coming on the show. It's great to talk exercise and
enjoyed it.
Helping people, encouraging the Knoxville community to get out and
be
get moving and be healthy and stay healthy.
Yes. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for tuning in to the Stay Healthy Knoxville podcast, brought to you by Simply Physio. If your pain is preventing you from staying healthy and active, and you'd like to avoid surgery, pain medicine, or just want to get back to doing the things you love in and around Knoxville, we offer both a free ebook and free over-the-phone consultation to help you figure out the root cause of your pain and the next best steps for resolving it. Find our ebooks online at simplypt.com/health-tips. There you will find ebooks for topics such as neck and shoulder pain, lower back and hip pain, knee pain, and TMJ. These quick-to-read reports will provide you with expert tips, tricks, and exercises to help solve your pain from the comfort of your own home. Just visit simplypt.com/health-tips to download your ebook and have it delivered directly to your inbox. We also offer free, no-obligation phone consultations with a doctor of physical therapy to Knoxville area residents. Just call us at 865-351-0615 or visit us at simplypt.com and click the Talk to a PT button on the home page to schedule a call with us. Thanks again for joining us, and we will see you next time on the Stay Healthy Knoxville podcast. This has been a Humble Pod production. Stay humble.